This morning when I tried to get out of my garage door, I pushed the button and the door wouldn't lift. I wondered what was wrong with it. I knew that I needed to be to work in the next 20 minutes. It's a good thing I planned ahead. But what am I going to do now? I could just walk to work, but then I don't have a vehicle if I need to go anywhere for lunch or at any other time throughout the day. Let's see. When I push the button, the door doesn't lift. What would happen if I unhooked the door from the motor? Let me see. Now I'll push the button. The motor chain moves, so it's not the motor that's broke. Let me go see if I can lift the door. Wow, it's pretty hard to lift. It's kind of stuck right here. Oh, I'm able to get it, but it's kind of hard to get it going. Why is it so hard to get the door to go up? Let's look. The right side of the rail looks great. Ooh, but here on the left, the bottom is tweaked a little bit. I wonder if that little turn in the rail is causing the door to stay down when the motor is trying to pull it up. Let's see, what can I do to turn this rail the other way? I have a hammer, I could just hit it into place, but then I chance bending the rail a bit and possibly making it worse. I know. I think I'll grab a pair of pliers, grasp the end of it, and just turn it a little. There. Now it looks just like the other side. Let's see. I'll hook it back up to the motor and try it. Ah, that worked. Great. Still 5 minutes. That just took me a few minutes to solve, and I still have time to get to work. What was that Mr. Peterson was doing? He was thinking about his thinking. What's the word for that? Ah, metacognition. I wonder where he learned to use metacognition to solve problems. Welcome to school, class. Today we're going to learn about a word called metacognition. Can anyone tell me what metacognition is? Does it have to do with thinking? Yes, Teresa, it does have to do with thinking. I think, and therefore I am metacognitive. That's kind of right, John. Is it when you think about your thinking, Mr. Pickett? Yes, Eldon, that's correct. Metacognition is thinking about thinking. What's thinking about thinking? Well, that's what we're going to show you today, Mark. I'm going to do what's called a think aloud, where I solve a problem that I had here in class, and I'll walk you through the steps that I used to solve it. So I'm going to think aloud so that you can hear my thought process. Okay. The last few days, I've noticed in class that you guys may not be getting as much out of my lessons as I want you to. And I wondered, what can I do to change my lesson or the environment so that my students can get the most out of their learning? So at first I thought about the lesson. It was a good lesson and it's worked in the past with other students. It was directly aligned with the learning standards. And it's hands-on and engaging. It should have went well. So let's look at the classroom environment. Well, I had Mark and Eldon sitting next to each other, and they were chatting all the time. And then I had John on the other side of Mark, and he was chatting with Mark a lot. Maybe Mark's the problem. Maybe I should put Mark in the corner. No, I don't really want to exclude any one student. So, let's see. Teresa's been a great student. She isn't talking to anyone. Let's put Teresa right in the middle, and she can model to the rest of them what I would like her to do. And even though Mark and Eldon are chatty together, I don't think John and Ellen will be chatty. So I think I'll put John next to Eldon. I'll leave Mark over on his own next to Teresa. So let's see. Seat 1, let's put Eldon. Seat 2, let's put John. Seat 3, Teresa. And seat 4, Mark. Yeah, I think that might work. Let's see. Class, what do you think of this new seating arrangement? I think it sucks because I want to talk to Eldon. I'm good with wherever you put me, Mr. Pickett. You're right, Mr. Pickett. I spend a lot of time talking. I'm sorry. I think it will be good because I don't want to be distracted, but it's easy to get distracted when I'm sitting by my friends. So this new seating chart will probably benefit all of us. Yeah. I wonder if I can use what Mr. Pickett was teaching us in class today to solve my own problem. I walk the same way to school every day. Yet lately, I've been a few minutes late. My mom finds out how many tardies I've been getting. She's not going to be happy. Let's look at my schedule and see what I do. Every morning I wake up at 7. I get up, I get out of bed, I make my bed, change my clothes, brush my teeth, comb my hair, and go downstairs for breakfast. Probably about 7:30, Mom has breakfast for me. I eat my breakfast. I go and get my homework, find my books, gather all the materials I need, put them in my book bag, get my lunch that Mom makes, put it in my book bag, and leave for school about 10 to 8. But for some reason, I'm arriving about 8:02. It must take 12 minutes to walk to school. How can I shave off a couple of minutes in my morning procedure to get on time? I could wake up a few minutes early, but that would be really hard to do. It's already hard enough to get up at 7. I guess I could skip breakfast, but they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Maybe I could get my books and my homework together the night before, put them in my book bag, and set my book bag next to the door, so all I have to do is grab my lunch and head out the door. Yeah, I think I'll try that tomorrow. Wow. I arrived at school way early today. Looks like a ghost town. Nobody's even here. Thanks, Mr. Pickett, for helping me learn to use metacognition. I was able to solve my own problems. I could see how that would benefit me. Maybe one day I could be the administrator of this school. And I could use metacognition to get myself there. And then I can teach the other students how to use metacognition in their lives so they too can find success.